Right, while we're playing our signature tune, as well as the little banner we have, I just want to bring your attention to our WhatsApp group. If you go to CQ100 DATV, you'll find us, and then just join the group. And then on that group, you'll get, for example, the YouTube link and other odds and ends and nice chats about DATV. And then on the top of the page, right-hand side, you'll see the participation list. If you want to come onto the worldwide net, you're more than welcome. We welcome anyone who can come up. That's who's going to transmit. And you can copy that link, the HTTPS, then / bit.ly/3 Hotel Juliet Yankee Papa India Bravo. So that's a link that gets you onto our roll call list, so to say. We do have another roll call list, and that's on the normal chat group that the BATC has started. BATC, it's very good. I haven't got their link on today. But then there are other links as well. That's the amsatdl.org if you want to get involved with satellite work. You can go onto that link. And we also do that in gratitude for the work they did to make the satellite available. It was conceived by them, and their management team sorted it out under Peter. And it was really big work to get a satellite up in geostationary orbit. So we're very thankful to that. Also, amsatuk.org, as I've got their link up there, fantastic information if you are interested in satellite work. That's a nice page to go to, or a nice web page. And then, of course, the Bible of DATV, we call the technical Bible, let's put it that way, is the BATC. And their link is at the bottom in blue and white there. You go and click onto that. You can join the BATC. It's really very, very affordable. And you can get involved with DATV, but also you can buy components off their shop. And you have a wealth of knowledge all lined up in their various articles, and they also spring out into various other web pages. For example, the web page on the mini tuner, that's a very interesting web page to go to, where you can download the mini tuner software, for example. So I thought I'd just come in a bit earlier than normal to introduce the few odds and ends we have. That's a WhatsApp page. Your participation, if you are interested to participate, please do so. You just go and fill it in. It's like a little spreadsheet, which was developed by Ed, Papa Yankee 2 Radio November. And you can add your name there and call sign, of course, and we'd gladly pull you in. We go down that list in sequential order, so it also helps to keep track of who's who in the zoo there. So with that, I'll put the music back on. We have another 3 minutes to go before we actually start. So this is ZA6 Yankee India. A very good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. This is the worldwide net, the DATV TV net, which we have every Sunday at about this time, 1400 hours UTC. Used to be an hour earlier, but because of the clock changes in the UK and some of Europe, we decided to move it on an hour to give everyone the opportunity to participate and have a look what's going on. I just want to try something else out today. I'm going to put this list on. This is the list that we have of everyone on the net today. So I just need to pull it up and also give you the participation list. This is where you can go to this list and you can click onto that link there or just jot it down. I will later on put that link on the AMSAT chat group as well. I just didn't have the time today because I wanted to do it close to when we're doing things. And hello to the following. We have G8KOE testing the new OBS 29, and his power's back. He's been blaming me, Martin has, because South Africa is going through terrible power outages. In fact, we're about to go into a 4-hour power outage in this part of the world now at about 4 o'clock. But luckily I do have big generators, so it should not affect us too much. Very good afternoon to you, Bert, Papa Alpha 3 Alpha Oscar Delta, who will take it from Martin. Hello again to Leon, ZS1 Mike. Hello to Martin, G4FKK. Nice to have you on, and Martin is the chairman of the BATC, so anything you need to know about the BATC, I'm sure he'll be only too happy to answer. Hello to you, Ed. Nice bit you came up with earlier. I'm sure that was you, and working very well, I must say. Excellent signal there. That's Papa Yankee 2 Radio November. Incidentally, it was Ed that started this worldwide net, and so we need to thank him and Saro for getting it going, and they've done a great job. Wonderful to see you, Frank, ZS6 Golf Echo. Frank, I think I've got 2 toroids. I actually use them, but you can have them. I found them in the store at the bottom. You were looking for them. It's exact ones that we need to make the antennas that I made, well, was going to make, I still have to, for the beacon. And then hello to Nick, Golf 4 IMO, welcome aboard. I don't see any other station on at the moment, but we will certainly go through the list a bit later again. Right, yeah, incidentally, I'm trying the new camera. Let me just go off this and put that back on. Let me do that, and there we go. I'm trying a new camera I tried a few weeks ago, but I finally got a card to capture the 4K that it's capable of putting out. This is the card. It arrived yesterday morning. Actually went to fetch it at the local, not post office, but courier guys. But anyway, there we go. And so put it in, and at the back of their box they say you just put in and it all works. Of course, that's a dream that's never come true. So Al Romeo ZS6RB helped me get some of the software loaded. And for life of me, we could not get the thing to work. If I plug the R7 in and change it to 4K, it just did not want to work. And we re-looked at everything. Anyway, I battled the whole blooming afternoon. And last night, I thought, I'll plug in my old camera just to see what it comes out like. And that's the old camera that you're used to, that I've been using up to now. That's the Legria HFR86. So, okay, I plugged it in. And then I wanted to plug in the R7, this one. And I couldn't plug the two next to each other, the 2 slots. The reason is on the R7, on the end of the cable, I had one of these units. Let me just turn it around. I hope it'll focus because it's focused on my eye. There we go. It's one of these so-called lightning protectors for your for your HDMI cable. So I just took it out and then plugged it into the Declan quad HDMI recorder, and a massive picture came on the screen. And when I went to have a look, indeed, it was now picking up high quality 4K and putting it into OBS at 3840 by 2160. So I was very happy that worked. So the card's working like a bomb. It's been working all along. It's just this darn static protector that was the cause of the nightmares. But so I accidentally came right. That's what happens with these radio things. Anyway, I thought I'll share that with you guys, that if you live in a lightning area, be careful of these things if you want to go 4K. So that's my bit of a story for today, and I'll just pass it now to Martin. So if you wouldn't mind taking it, Martin, from Zulu Sierra 6 Yankee India.
We've made it, I think. Let's just see, get a bit of audio in my headphones and I can take them off. Yep. Take those off, don't need those on. Yeah, I didn't think I was going to make it. I keep blaming Gary. Ever since he's been talking about power cuts, we've had, about 4, I think. But I'm a little geared up, not geared up with a generator, etc., but geared up with battery that I can put on the router, so as that keeps the internet going, and a camping stove and things of that nature. So we can get by, but luckily power came back in time for dinner to be cooked. So I've eaten my dinner, apart from pudding, which I'll eat during the rest of it. Yeah, I've been playing with the audio because Gary said that the audio was really low. So I'll probably find I'll get complaints that it's too loud now. It was better when they couldn't hear what I was saying. I'd sort of got it set up. I've been playing for ages. The more you play, the more confused you can get, which is why I started putting headphones on and actually looking at the stream, etc. I started streaming from OBS just to see what it sounded like via the BATC stream side of things. So anyway, we've been playing for ages, but then I noticed this morning that the OBS 29 was there, and of course I thought, well, let's just go for it, which is what I've done. But it's got a few more bits and pieces, like a 3-band graphic and various other additions, the NVIDIA audio processing sort of side of things, which I don't find work very well at all. I'm using the built-in noise reduction in OBS because I do get some noise picked up from the fan, etc., from the power supply, and also from the microphone. So we popped that in. So yeah, I'm quite happy. Still running the VB audio cable side of things, and the virtual cam output from OBS, and I think the sync's okay. I haven't checked it, I must admit. Let's see how that performs or doesn't perform. But yeah, I think I was looking at the meter move. The other thing that I've wanted for some time is metering on the output of the receiver. I'm using the Minitune version 2 Pro, which I wanted to be able to. Let's see if we can. Where do I want to go? I want to go there. Helps you turn the mic on. Why isn't that display working? Probably because I haven't launched. I haven't checked everything through. So we'll do this live, and hopefully, if I click on that, it might bring it back to life. I can't remember which I know what's not working, because they did mention in the update from 29 that you need to check your screen capture settings. So apologies there. I haven't checked them, but I will do. But yeah, I've got this little program which I downloaded from the internet, I found, which produces 2 VU meters. There they are. I'll stick them in the corner. That's the easiest answer. And you can, from a menu on it, you can point it anywhere. So at the moment it's pointing to the output of the receiver. But if I click on it, I can then point it to the BB audio cable, which then should be in sync with what I'm doing. 1 2 1 2 1 2. Yeah, it looks better, I think, instead of being out of sync. But yeah, I'm quite happy with this free program, and does run on earlier PCs, etc. There's 2 versions of it. One for the slightly, well, let's say the Windows 10 and above, I think, and some for the earlier one. But no, quite rated. It's quite high. I haven't checked it for all the frequency response, etc. But it's a nice indication, and you can see lots of other people and get an idea what's going on. That's me anyway. Right, I'm waffling, but yeah, good pictures from you, Gary. I didn't comment on your camera. That's cracking. And so I remember from the early days when we did the old analog stuff, and one of the guys was BBC cameraman, and he used to put his camera on, and even then the difference between the normal surveillance sort of start and his was phenomenal. And you can likewise see, I think if you don't start off with something good, you're on a downward slope all the way. I think it's the same with audio, particularly with stylus, etc. Going back to old school or moving coil. Anyway, I'm waffling now, which I do a lot of. It's good to be back on the net, and I didn't think I was going to make it. So let's see. It's Mike, isn't it? Taking it G1 LWX, I think. So I'll put a test card and then I'll disappear. But good to see everybody from G8KE.
Yep, 1 2 3. There seems some audio. Hey, good afternoon, everybody. From the Netherlands. I see I'm the only guy from the Netherlands today, so I have to support the Netherlands in it. Yeah, okay. I started a new project, and that's for liquid cooling for a couple of amplifiers. I will start with my shortwave amplifier. That's let's see. Oh, that's a few kilos of copper. You can see that's a few kilos of copper, and the planning is to put some piece of aluminium on it with put this away. With some channels for the water cooling. I got some inputs. Maybe put in the other camera again. Now I have to look over here. Let's see if I can do it. Yep. And you see from these little things for the liquid input, the water input of liquid, but of course no real water, but for the liquid input. And yeah, that's busy with it. I'm just busy with maybe you can see with some drawings already. Let's remove that other thing. That's oh boy, that's not always as easy as it should be. Okay. Anyway, I'm just busy now with the drawing where the holes are for the mounting holes and where the power fets are, and so I have to draw lines between all these holes to make nice channels for the liquid cooling. So that's the only thing I'm busy now with. This is just a small drawing, and I have to make it a nice drawing for my milling machine. That will be my first project for the milling machine, and we will see how that goes. The footprint is 190 by 152. 190 by 152 is the footprint. So it will be a big piece of aluminum, like the Americans say. We'll see how it goes. That's all from this side. And also I got now a small new camera, thanks to Martin, KOE, an eagle eye camera, and that's working also very fine. Now I've got two cameras, and I can use them on the same time, as you just saw. Okay, that's all from this. Oh yeah, and from Martin. Yeah, the analog meters was nice to see it in the corner. Not just only digital with numbers, but also the analog. I like the analog numbers. Numbers. I'm more an analog guy than maybe a digital, but yeah, nowadays you have both, analog and digital. Yeah, back to South Africa then, to Leon. ZS1, Mike, from the group, Pop Alpha 3, Alpha Oscar Delta.
Okay, let me see, do I have audio? Okay. Yeah, it is there. Okay, thanks, Bert. Right. Okay, Gary, I have spoken to. His stuff is working splendidly. Oh, man. Yeah, that. I don't know whether it's the camera that's so good or whether it's the card that's so good, but the combination certainly is wicked. It's fantastic. Martin, yes, I must say, I thought there was something suspicious, but I couldn't put my finger on it. So you are using a noise gate, but that is the first noise gate that I've heard that is working properly, because it's not chopping off anything. It's just abnormally quiet when you stop speaking. But yeah, if anything, I'd say you have a little bit too much bass in your audio. Well, I can't really tell because I don't know what you sound like naturally, but to my ear, I would turn back the low frequencies just a little bit. But yes, otherwise your audio is beautiful. Bert, okay, yeah, it's a serious amplifier you're busy with there. My goodness, it's a big block of copper, that, and a lot of ferrite on the thing. So it must be HF. Your audio, it sounds like you're using a carbon microphone. It's got funny artifacts on it, and very, very thin. Yeah, it's. I don't think it's the right type of microphone for what you want. So perhaps you have a look at that. Okay, what have I been busy with? Not much. The last couple of days, I was kept busy with an old Kodak slide projector. It's one of those big carousel things. It's for a friend, and it's a mechanical nightmare. It is so automated and fancy, and it's got camshafts running with little cam followers and levers and things. Oh, anyway, I finally got it going properly. So that was about the excitement on this end. I think I did mention last week, or didn't I, that my UPS batteries, which are now 3 months old, are US. So yeah, we're busy in a battery hunt here. The supplier, the guy whom I bought it from, said where he gets it, the supplier, the main supplier, the wholesaler, says there's no guarantee on batteries whatsoever. So really very, very expensive batteries, 200 amp hour gel batteries, and they only lasted 3 weeks, and really I've been nursing them. They've always been at above 90% charge rate, charge level, because I use very little power of the thing, and when the mains comes back, it just goes up. but they definitely didn't last. And I'm going to open one of them and see what went wrong, because I'd like to know. So yeah, okay, right. I give it to Martin, G4FKK, the watchmaker from ZS1, Mike, and the group.
Right, hopefully this all works. Oh, I thought I was going to get no sound then for a minute. Yes, thank you, Leon. And what a cracking picture you've got as well. I'm looking at my picture here, and it needs seriously looking at. It's supposed to be an HD camera, but it's just an old Canon video camera. So clearly I'm going to have to work out what you and Gary are doing there. Your picture was terrific too, Gary. Anyway, good morning, good afternoon, good evening to everyone, and nice to see you all on. Gary, I was having a look. I was trying to find on my WhatsApp app on the phone how to log into your the DATV one, but I couldn't find a search button or anything like that on WhatsApp. I need to do a bit of research on that. And yeah, interesting about your lightning protection, protecting you from 4K as well. So that's quite interesting. Martin, KOE, nice to see you. I thought your audio was terrific. I didn't think there was too much bass, although I don't know your voice any more than Leon does. But maybe my speakers aren't as bass responsive as Leon. Leon's probably got a really good audio system there. And interesting about OBS 29. You're quite adventurous, aren't you, with all this stuff? I remember you went to Windows 11, I think, before anyone else. I'm still on Windows 10, so little chance of me OBSing up large anytime soon. And the VU meters are terrific. I mean, it's a shame they're VU meters, obviously, but hang on, let's just turn the... that's the 10-meter repeater coming through from New York on 10 meters. Yeah, it looks a bit more. They look a bit nicer than the VU the PPM I've got running at the moment. But Bert, that lump of copper looks extraordinarily expensive. So I guess you're going to do a few dummy runs on something cheaper before you cut the channels in the copper. And yeah, I was going to say that your audio sounds more like a crystal microphone. Oh, that's G4XAT calling me on 2 meters. Bear with me a sec. Yeah, I'm just on the worldwide net, Gareth. I'll be back here in a minute. Where was I with that? Can't remember that. Oh yeah, but it's very tinny, Bert. So don't quite know why that should be. And well, presumably you're going to show us this Kodak projector at some point, Leon. So looking forward to seeing that. And crikey, I think I'd have a bit more to say about. I think you said 3 weeks those batteries lasted, or it may have been 3 months. Anyway, it's not enough, is it? So presumably you're going to remonstrate strongly with the people that say there's no guarantee on them. I mean, they're not old junkers, are they? Presumably they're brand new. Anyway, not much to report here other than, let's see if I can do this. I did have a problem with the system here. So this is my LNB when it got covered in snow, and the LNB is fitted to the patch feed. It's the usual potty with these collet type arrangements that Mike G0MJW made for me on his 3D printer. And you'll notice that the one that holds the copper into the LNB is all cracked around the edge, and I think that just must have been the cold weather. So I had to attend to that, and that wasn't difficult. Araldite seemed to do the job there, and also Gareth G4X80 has very kindly printed me some new ones with a more weatherproof, evidently, material. But then I also noticed this: our cat likes to go up and nudge and run into the patch feed, and you can see it's quite badly bent. And I do remember back in the summer she ran into it at quite some velocity. Flipping thing. The cat, I mean. Anyway, I straightened that out, and that immediately gave me about 2.5 more decibels on the transmit side. So worth keeping your patch feeds in good order, as it were. Right. Well, that's probably enough. I've got lots of watchmaking going on here, Leon, but I won't bore you with some of that. One thing that might be interesting. I'm not sure if Gary showed one of these while I was still working, so I haven't really had a chance to have a good look at it. I got one of these. Let's see. Oh, it does focus. It's a very cheap SDR board. And so far seems to work very well on the what is it? The SDR something Uno software. So I'm hoping I might be able to put that to some good use on the TV front. But more experiments to do with that. Right, round to you, Ed. I'm pretty sure you're next on the list here, Ed. And apologies if you're not. So with that, round to you. Papa Yankee 2, Radio November, and the Worldwide Net, G4 Fox King standing by.
Roger that, Martin. Thank you. Hello, everybody. Greetings from Brazil. Little chilly this week here. Always raining and cloudy. Hey, Martin, before you go to talk to your friend on VHF, let me show you something. You can join the WhatsApp group just accessing the participation list. You're gonna see a link, join QO-100 DATV WhatsApp group. I suppose this link is still working. Let's see. Should work. Yeah, I think WhatsApp. Yeah, it's working. So you just click there and gonna open a WhatsApp page, and you just click on join chat. You're gonna be there. Okay. So again, on the participation list, just click over this link here. Yes. All right. Great images and sound from everybody. I really appreciate your image there, Gary, with your new card. Astonishing quality. Very, very nice image, Gary. I don't know why I'm still showing that damn spreadsheet. Hold on just a second. Oh, because my UDP is activated. All right. What else? Martin, your audio is fine. G8 QoE, great audio, no problem. Leon as well, no problems with audio, and the image very good. Bert, yeah, nice amplifier. Yeah, by the toroids, it seems an HF amplifier. just curious to know which is the LDMOS. I have one running here with BLF 188 XR. And cooling, yeah, good stuff. Doing liquid cooling. Mine, it's just air, forced air. I have similar copper like you have, and then after the copper I have big heat sink and 4 fans, but still missing some cooling. There is some. I just posted on some specialized groups, solid state power amplifiers groups, what those guys were using to place the LDMOS chip on the copper bed, because there are few options. Well, first one, the most knowledgeable one, is soldering it. But soldering, if you need to replace the LDMOS chip, is going to be a pain. So there are other options like liquid metal or indium foil. I already used liquid metal. That seems work a little better than the indium foil. But anyways, just if you remember to mention what you're going to do there. And I wish I would be capable of doing something liquid cooled as well, but I don't have the tools. I don't have the you know, even the intelligence to do that. I believe. Boy. Okay, guys. Just want to show you. You know, maybe you're familiar with those security cameras, those IP cameras that works, you know, over the Ethernet cable or even via Wi-Fi. There is the newer cameras. They follow a standard called ONVIF, which is a standard for interoperability, and I found a pretty smart application, a smart software that if you run it on your computer, it will identify what is the device is compatible with this ONVIF protocol, and will show on the screen. So let me show to you guys here. That's the software ONVIF file. No, ONVIF device manager. Yeah, as you can see, it identified my H265 encoder and also a camera that I have. All right. So if I click here on the live video, yeah, you're gonna see my current image from this camera, and the most interesting thing, it tells you the link for that camera, including the password. The you know, the interesting thing. Oops, it just popped off my screen. Yeah, every time we try to find to show something goes wrong, right? But yeah, it shows the link and even the encrypted password. The encrypted password. So you're gonna be able just to copy the link and place on OBS. So if you place on the OBS will recognize that particular link and will show the image, like you know, it's live video from your camera. The only downside is that I could not find any application that can attach to the OBS to control the camera in case you have a PTZ camera. PTZ stands for pan, tilt, and zoom. But this little software, you can do it. You can control your camera, so you can still keep it running, and it will provide you a PTZ and OBS who gonna show all position of the camera. How to identify if your camera is on VIF compatible or not, I don't know. The only thing that I know is that cameras that works with an application named ICC. No, I put wrong. ICC. Yeah. Yeah, those cameras that work with this application ICC on your smartphone, it will work. It will work. That's a very popular application. So if you have a camera that works with this application, you may get success in mapping the camera through the OBS. I'm running OBS 28, by the way. I think that's it. I think that's it. So I'm gonna. Oh, I don't know if you guys realize it, but a little earlier, just before starting the net, we got FT8 WW here on the DATV, all the way from Corzet Island. So just wondering if he would like to join the DATV net. Maybe he could join after Peter, Golf Whiskey 8 Bravo Zulu Yankee. So just Gary, maybe you have some interval there after Golf Whiskey 8 Bravo Zulu Yankee Peter. So maybe FT8 Whiskey from all the way from Corzet Island would join the DATV net. We're gonna be great. All right, guys. So thank you very much. Hello to Frank, Nick, and Peter that were gonna follow me. So I'm passing this to Frank, Zulu Sierra 6 Golf Echo. Please get ready, Frank, and go ahead. 73 from Papa Yankee 2 Radio November.
Nick on, but we can do the following. We can bring in Peter, and then maybe Nick will come back. G4IMO. He's possibly having an issue. Anonymous Dragon. Oh, okay. There's Frank. Needs to take it. Frank, let's do the following. Frank, will you take it? ZS6 Golf Echo, then Nick, and then Peter. I think Ed jumped a few slips there. Incidentally, Martin, I have loaded you on. I've put you on. You might just have to approve, and then you're on the site for WhatsApp. So the following station is ZS6 Golf Echo, G4IMO, GW6, I think it is BZY. Let me just check. 7. I made a mistake on the typing here. GW7 BZY. And then we'll also give a turn. Maybe I saw that strange station from the islands coming in. A beautiful signal. So we'll give a nice break there, and then I'll take it again. So back to you, Frank, if you'll fire up your engines. ZS6 Golf Echo to take it from Zulu Sierra 6 Yankee India.
Yeah, okay. Got my audio. Yeah, Frank put a message on the chat to say, what does it say? It says it's not working. He will come up later. So, hang on a minute. Where's my camera? No, try again, Nick. Try this one. That's better. Right, there we are. Yeah, okay. Yeah, so Frank's having trouble there. Yeah, Ed passed it to Frank, and Frank didn't come on, but I waited, and I thought, well, I better not jump in, so I just waited anyway. So yeah, not to worry. Anyway, nice to see everybody on here. I haven't been very active radio-wise, unfortunately. We've had a lot of visitors over the Christmas, New Year period. Lots of festivities and things. And Vicky and myself now have colds and sore throats. So I've had this sore throat for about a week now. So taken a long time to heal up. So my voice is a lot lower than it normally is. Okay. Anyway, nice to see everybody on here. Gary, your new camera, or that new HDMI card thingy, 4K thingy, excellent, absolutely superb pictures. I always look at my flesh tones here. It all looks very white. Probably due to my age, I don't know. But anyway, yeah. So your flesh tones look as they should, but there's not a lot of light coming in the window here, so I've had to put a LED light on that's sort of shining on my face, on the side of my face. So which is not a very warm light. So that's probably why. But I need to get some more colour in my picture. But that'll have to wait till the summer, I should think, when I can wear my highly coloured T-shirts. Right, I did make a few notes here, if I can read my scribble. Okay, on the WhatsApp. Yeah, well, WhatsApp stopped working on my phone, but I didn't realise you could access it on the PC. So yeah, thanks for that, Ed. I will try that. But presumably I can put a message on the WhatsApp, but there's no way of knowing if somebody sent me a message. So I don't know. Anyway, I'll have an experiment with that. Yeah, Martin, your audio sounds very good, very professional. Sounds all right to me. I've got a couple of PC speakers on my HDMI monitor, so I can hear the low frequencies, and yeah, it sounds fine. But the speakers are only, I don't know, probably about 3 inches. They're quite small. So maybe if it was on the larger speakers, as I think Leon said there about the low frequencies. So, but it sounded fine to me anyway, and the audio, the analog meters look very good as well. Yeah, okay. Poet on the water cooling there. Excuse me. I used to have on the old ATV days back in the about 10 years ago. I used to have a 2C39A, which is an air-cooled valve. I'm sure everybody's heard of that. But you could unscrew the anode heatsink thing on it, and I made a little water jacket that you could screw on, and I used to water cool that because initially you could only get about 50 watts out of those on 24 SEMS, ATV, FM. But water cooling it, you could get 100 watts out of them. So that worked very well. The pump was a screen washer off of a Volvo car. That was a screen washer. It was very noisy, but it did work anyway. Used to use that a long time ago now. Right, what else was there? Oh, yeah, Martin, the photograph of your patch feed there with the reflector plate. Yeah, that's very interesting. I don't know how that would happen. When I made mine, I used the reflector plate. I used 3mm thick brass because I was worried that in the sun, in the summer, the heat, that the spacing between the driven plate and the reflector plate could change because as the thing heats up in the sun. So I made the reflector of 3mm brass, which needed an enormous amount of heat to do the soldering, as you can imagine. But touch wood, I've not had any problems with that. Anyway, that's about it, I think. Oh, I did try. I'm still using DATV Easy 1.25 here. I have downloaded 2.08, which is very similar to 125. I was hoping that the later version would work on the lower symbol rates, because if you look in 125, when you go into the little drop down menu for the symbol rates, it goes below 66. I think 35 KS, 25 and 20. I think I can't make any of those work. And it's the same on this other version, V2.08. Those I can't get them to work. It just will not transmit. So I don't know whether that's because I'm using the Pluto and it only works with a Lime. I don't know, but that was a bit disappointing. But I was hoping it was going to work with the newer version, but not so. My latest copy of CQTV arrived on Friday. It's all very interesting. So lots of stuff in there on operating on 29 megs. And Martin, when you said the New York repeater was coming through, I also listened at the same time, and it was not quite S9. It was about S8. So yeah, it was coming through here on my my wire half wave vertical. I think I was thinking of trying a 5/8 vertical to see whether that gave any improvement, but the weather outside hasn't been very nice for messing about with aerials and things. And talking of the weather, there's been yet another Windows 10 update. I don't know what these software people. I just can't understand them. But my computer, normally when I come on, I sort of say, oh, the temperature here is like 12 degrees centigrade. And I've noticed now, if I look at my computer, it's now decided it's going to tell me the temperature in Fahrenheit, because it's telling me it's 47 degrees Fahrenheit now. So that must have been the latest Windows update has upset something there. So 47 Fahrenheit, I've no idea what that is in centigrade. You'll have to do a conversion, I'm afraid. Right, I think that's about it. So I think Peter came up, didn't he, after me? I kept checking, but I think Peter... I'll tell you what, we'll leave a pause for Frank. Yeah, we'll just leave a pause for Frank, and if not, perhaps Peter can take it. So... round to Frank if he's there, ZS6GE. If not, round to you, Peter, from G4IMO.
Okay, no idea. Oh, I have a picture. Oh boy. Okay. I don't know what the heck is going on. Let's put it this way. But it looks like it's working at the moment. Okay, anyway, good day everybody. It's a bit late, but all the best for the new year. I wanted to do it actually last week, but the gremlins were in the machine. Have no idea what happened. All sorts of things didn't work anymore. The quick tune lost its settings. The easy DATV lost its settings. Mini tune lost a file, and OBS lost some connection to the pictures and videos. So I struggled, and luckily Benno helped me there to get it all going again, and it was working until now when I tried it. It's the first time it didn't work. With other words, I started transmit and nothing happened. And then I see that DATV Easy was hanging for one reason or another. So maybe there's still a gremlin in the background. I strongly suspect Windows, same like Unix, because I didn't touch anything and then it went all haywire. Okay, anyway, yeah, thanks Gary for the toroids. I will contact you and we'll make a plan. And yeah, you had problems with the static protector. It probably wasn't designed for 4K. I had similar problems with Ethernet. It's always a trade-off. You know, the higher the frequency, the lower the capacity must be of these protection devices. And by its very nature, the smaller the capacitor, the capacitance, so the smaller the device and how much power it can handle. But naja, anyway. Cooling problems, yeah, I mentioned it before, I'm amazed how they manage to dissipate the heat in a single device for the sort of power levels we are talking about. So it can be done with air cooling, but if you don't like the noise, then water cooling is the only option, which is a bit not for everybody. Let's put it this way: the mechanical equipment is required, and if you farm it out to somebody, it costs a fortune. What else? Yeah, Leon battery. Yeah, it's a sad story. It shouldn't happen, but you really snookered on that one, unless somebody is very tolerant. But at the price of these things, you might not get lucky. I installed my solar installation now 7 years ago, and they're still old-fashioned wet lead acid ones, which are a pain because now you have to always watch the level and have to top it up all the time. But so far they have held up. At the time, lithium batteries were totally out of the question. And they're still very expensive, but not quite so astronomical anymore. So once my lead acid batteries give up the ghost, then lithium is the next option. But unfortunately then the solar regulator need to replace too, because they in turn were not designed for lithium. So it's an expensive exercise, especially if you have a fairly large capacity that I have got. Now I'm not quite sure. I saw a signal in the background. If it was Peter, I must apologize if I was sitting on top of him. It was a lot weaker and I couldn't decode who it was. So I'm not quite sure to whom to pass it on. So I'll pass it on to Peter, and if he has talked already. Anybody else? No? Then back to you, Gary. From all the best to everybody from ZS6 Golf Echo.
Okay, so apologies to you too, last speaker. I think it was me. I got to go for transmit, and then suddenly realised I hadn't plugged the USB. Jumping out took place, and of course I got a bit excited, and I was watching the. We got some audio coming back now. Last speaker. I don't remember his name. So I've got to cut my audio down as well. I got to go. So I've got no direct receive this side. I've killed my USB, my LNB power supply, and the bias T probably, although I haven't checked it. And I did purchase a new power supply, but it came with no instructions, which is the which end to feed the electric into, or which is in which output, because it doesn't really has any indication. Although if you magnify it with if I magnify it with two pairs of glasses, I can actually see in the little tiniest writing in, no out, but in. So I assume that meant in, as in 12 volts DC in, or voltage in, and then the other end the voltage came out, but it turned out to be a complete short, and the power supply won. So there we are. I've got another one on order. I've got two on order, and I've got my bias T, but I haven't got the 18 volts at the moment. I hoped I had a PC laptop power supply that put 17.5 out, but they put 15, so I'm having to wait on that. So apologies for I see myself directly. Hopefully I can see with the quick viewer tuner, which works with the ride receiver. I can actually monitor. I can monitor with the Windows as well, but that also has quite a drain on the old PC. Good pictures from you, Gary. Nice colour, etc., etc. I thought I'd come on, show me face. I haven't been for a while. I know life's quite busy at the moment, with it being Christmas and everything. And I've been playing with HF. I was quite pessimistic. I'm sure I mentioned that my foray into HF has been very disappointing. I think I might have been a bit pessimistic. I know there's a phone line running across and a horrendous amount of noise, but I've actually got a tuned wire now running along a little bit higher off the ground, and I'm quite surprised I actually heard some stations. I could hear things. This is the first time ever I've heard anything on the HF band, apart from a local station in Dinstintler, which from me is about 3 miles on HF calling on sea level, trying to, take the benefits of sea level, apparently. Mobile, that's the only station I've heard actual voices, but I heard yesterday, and I'm quite excited. I've got the gear. I've got an ATU and a HF radio. I was looking to buy a new Yaesu 710, and I thought, well, it'd be very wise to have an aerial that actually received something before I went and spent any more money. So I've been a bit tormented about that. I'm still using. I'm not got I missed what you said about your any information about your new graphics, your capture card there, Gary, and maybe I'll repeat it on the next over so I can have a listen to what you've got. Picture's very good. Much better colour. There is some colour tone, skin tone there, which was a little bleached out previously. It didn't seem to show any sort of colour. So that's working well for you, and it's very sharp, obviously 4K. I'm unfortunately only running HD here, and I'm not actually full HD at the moment. I'm running 720p, which is... hold on, am I losing signal? I'm just going to turn up my power. Apologies if I'm disappearing. Because as it gets warmer, of course, it drops in power. And last time I came on Wednesday, I think I was a bit... Apologies to Martin there. I think it's Martin, isn't it? KFF or FKK. About, zapping the old repeater a little bit, the satellite. That's about it. What have I said? Yes, running HF, actually getting a signal, actually hearing people's voices. Bit excited. No direct receive on the LMB, so I'm relying on YouTube, and I think that's why I stood on the other station, and he may have stood on me as well, but I couldn't respond quickly enough to know what's going on, and so I just obviously gave up and let him have his go, and of course that all worked out quite well. What else? Not a lot. Hopefully the picture's good. These are 3 chips. I've only got 3 chips in this camera, all full HD, but and of course it's been Sony. And hopefully the sound is okay as well. About lip sync, I can't tell you. I haven't been able to adjust it. And I would like a copy of the latest version of DATV Easy, if anybody's got one. I've got version 2.08. And I've seen there's a 2.12, 2.12. But I've put download 2.12 in my web browser and nothing appears. Nothing of use appears. If anybody's got a copy, that'd be great. If you could send me a link. Although this works perfectly well, I like to keep up with the times. What else do I want to say? Martin, watch fixing. My watch is getting rustier. I'm hoping that you're going to get good enough to fix it in a reasonable amount of time before it dissolves. Somebody said something about EI station. That's right. Yeah, EI. Well, I used to work EI land quite a lot in the old days. And I'm talking about the 90s. I suppose mid to late 90s. I'm not sure. Even the early 90s, late 80s, maybe even on 77's AM. And I used to talk to a station in Dublin. I can't remember the name of the guy in Dublin now. But I used to speak to AI3FW, Craig, in Bray for many years. Well, not for many years, for a good period. And went over to Bray and, and socialised. It was quite good. It was good fun. Bray Head there. And you never want to go on holiday or spend time in Bray or anywhere in Ireland at Easter, because it's the only time the pub's closed, and you've never seen so many sort of lost people. Of course, I don't know how many of that island is not the same island, I don't think, now as it is as part of the south coast of Britain. Isn't quite the same. But yes, worked Bray Head, had a standard 528 dual band handheld, and that could monitor 950 megahertz, so I could hear the mobile phones. It was quite interesting, quite entertaining. Obviously illegal, but I wasn't doing it on British shores anyway. Okay, but with that, I'll hand it round. Apologise, I don't remember who's next. And thank you, Gary, for bringing me in. And looking forward to hearing what capture card you have. I have on my other PC I just had, I have a Blackmagic TechLink or DeckLink, I think, which can input SDI HD. various flavors, as well as analogs and component analog as well, which is really good. Unfortunately, it doesn't fit in the new machine. So maybe when I get a new motherboard, I'll bring it over, and then I'll have the benefit, because this camera obviously puts out SDI, and it's far easier. And of course, you've got, I think, 4 channels or 6 channels of audio, 4 channels of audio maybe, on SDI, if not more. Whereas when I use the HDMI to USB converter, it's only got 2 channels. With that, I'll hand it round. From GW7BZY, not too bad weather, although lots of a fair bit of lightning this morning. Gwynedd, North Wales, just outside the little town, royal town of Carnarvon.
Okay, many stations on the band today. Okay, Peter, you forgot to switch your camera on. We had a beautiful audio, really first-class audio from you, and we had a lovely pattern. So your color syncs are correct. Yeah, these things happen. But I'm sure Martin, KOE, will be able to assist you with the download link for the version 112, version 12, I think, or whatever. Okay, yeah, I've got a similar thing to what you're using. This is the latest one they've got. It is the Blackmagic quad HDMI recorder, but for 4K. And that's what I've put in, and it works very, very well. Yeah, and I had my old camera on just as a comparison, but the quality is chalk and cheese. Let me just switch it on again. Work, and let's see if it does. Then I can show you the difference. That's the old camera that you remember, and this is now the new one, putting out 4K, but of course that's not what I'm running on the satellite. Anyway, Martin, excellent meters you have there. Those are nice. Those are proper stuff, old-fashioned analog meters. And I'm going to make this my final over, because there's a lightning storm approaching and I can hear the thunder already. But it looks wonderful. Your signal's great. Everything is perfect, and no problem to copy you at all. And then, yeah, Bert, that cooling is very well done. It will work very, very well. I use water cooling on my DATV amp, and we use a lot of that type of technology in our injection molding plant, where we have to keep a mold at a certain temperature. We're just busy with a big project for BMW, and they are so hypercritical on the temperature that you run your molds, your cycle time, because they want no distortion of the part. And we have to laser check it. They are so finicky, but it's interior parts, so you don't want squeaking and rattling and goodness knows what. So we understand why. But I use that type of technology. In fact, I've got one of the units over here that we use on injection molding to keep temperature control. Right now I'm 19.7 degrees on the final of the amp, and it'll go up to 22 degrees. I've got about a 5-degree latitude, and it works well also with a copper block, so you're not wasting your time. There are little tricks we do. You want to slow down the water, because if you have water rushing through, you find that you need more time to get the heat to lock into the water to be carried away. So there are a couple of tricks we do. If it's very high heat, we use an oil. But if not, let's say we make a channel, then we drill holes, blind holes into that channel, all along the channel, blind holes. And then we put a plate in there, but just cut the plate short so that when you knock it in the hole, the water has to go down and then go up, if you know what I mean, and come down. So you slow down the water, but that effectively makes the thing far more efficient. and then you really get the good hot water coming out the other end. Little tricks like that over the years that we've been doing. Leon, that slide projector, it'd be nice if you could put a chip in front of the lens and then put that onto digital format. That will be nice if you could digitize those slides in that way. I was thinking of doing it with one of my slide projectors, if I can find the thing. But it'll be good to see you on with that. Then Martin, firstly, you got an excellent picture and great audio. And I added you while you said you were looking for it. I quickly added you to our WhatsApp group, so you might see it there. You might just have to approve, and then you're onto that page. And it's quite a handy page for the future too. And then I see you've got cat issues on your antennas. Well, I've got monkeys monkeying around with them. I had to actually chase them off day before yesterday morning. I heard them on the roof, and Stru's nuts, they were here on the dish playing around with the stuff. Now, I don't want to put on RF, so I just shouted at them and clapped my hands, but boy, they took off like 100 miles an hour. I wish I had a camera on to have taken that. That would have been quite funny. And yeah, what we do with those little gadgets, we do sometimes make a 3D printed device. Then we quickly make a small epoxy tool. And then into the epoxy, we can do a type of a fiberglass or whatever, which is far better lasting than these printed stuff. And you can pop them out every half an hour. You can take one out. Or polyurethane. We use polyurethane. Sorry, excuse me. And then that we can make many of those things. So there we go. Yeah, sorry to see you had a bit of problems. I've got a problem now. This bloody air conditioner gives my throat a go. But sorry you had a problem switching on there, Frank. I hope you're going to get it sorted. When you're on, you're beautiful. Nice audio, nice everything. Yeah, I'm just going to recapture. I've only got 2 of those toroids. I'll just take them out the box and take off the windings I had. But they knew they've never had high power. They've only had a network analyzer through them, so you can get those. And then so I've only got 2. I think you wanted 3, but that I don't have. But I hope that will help you. Right. With that, I think I'm going to close the net, but throw it in the air so that whoever wants to continue, continue. And Martin, I put it to you, and you go down the list again. It does not look as though the island station came on, but maybe, Martin, you can just give him a little break. But I doubt it. I saw him on just before we started, but that was that. So G8KOE from Zulu Sierra 6 Yankee India 732 all.
Right, we gave a little pause, some sound. Right, let's kill the sound there. I think we're working. Yeah, there's the meters. Finally got the page to work. I had to reselect it in OBS. The program is, if you want the program, it's easily downloadable to produce the meters. And where's it gone? There it is. So it's vuplayer.com, and look at the software, and then you can download the appropriate meter. It's so small, and you can then do what you like with it. Pardon the expression. But yeah, one thing I didn't ask is with regards to what did I ask? I don't know. But I'm using the mini tuner, and is there anybody know any way of altering the config so as the audio is at full level, 100% coming out of it? I couldn't see anything in the config, but it would be useful because the meters at the moment I've got linked to that particular program, but you can change it, as I said before. Oops, kill that there. That's why it's you've got you can select which output you want, or input, or whatever. So it's easy as that to change where you want to be looking. So I'm looking at speakers out at the moment. Right, let's go back to the camera. And yeah, I was going to ask you there, Gary, what you were using to stream things via YouTube. I didn't get around to asking. You said you were having sound sync problems. I presume it's tied up somewhere with OBS. You need a VB audio cable. Seems to cure that. Well, that's my new camera. Oh, and that's my old camera. But I'll probably find the old camera's better. So that's the C920, and that's the ultra sharp. And that's what the ultra sharp is. I think I said before, it's up there. So that's what I'd get if I was you then, Martin. They'd work down to exceedingly low light level. And not the cheapest of webcam. Doesn't have a microphone, but it needs USB 3. But apart from that, all okay. Fine on the med there on what was it called? Oh, in VIF device manager, wasn't it? I used UC cameras, which I have a number. I have a couple of them at the moment. We'll be having a few more. But go over to that one, which is one of the cameras out in the garden, which I'm using. I've got a link into it on VLC. So that's one, and another one should be. Oh God, I've just clicked on the wrong link. Need glasses. That's the same garden. But now I've got other cameras which I'm going to change, which is the garage cam. As you can see, it looks not very pleasant. And we've got a bird cam, which is that one. So got a number of sort of cameras. So that bit of software looked exceedingly good. So I will have a look at that and give it a play, because finding out the information sometimes can be very difficult. And what I don't understand is using VLC on the UC cameras, it times out. I can't see any way of stopping it from timing out. But if I use the software that comes with the cameras, that you can actually display a number of cameras and sort of a surveillance sort of side of things, it doesn't time out at all. So there must be a way of doing it. But yeah, we'll look at that bit of software, so it helps with information. And DATV Easy, yeah, I'll find the link and stick it up. I thought it was in, I can't remember whether I got it from the BATC or where I got it from, but it is out there. Need to search for F1 EJP, I think, DATV Easy, and then you probably might get it. But I'll do that after I've done things. And yeah, I can't think of anything else. There's so many things I was going to talk about, but it's good to see everybody. And oh yeah, I don't know what I was going to say. I have reduced the bass by 3 dBs. Probably made no difference at all because I haven't really listened to it, but I did chunk the bass off by 3 dBs. I've got a very horrible voice. It's got no real get up and go to it. When I used to be involved in a disco sort of roadshow sort of setup, I never said very much because it just doesn't come out. Whereas we had one disc jockey that you could give him any mic you liked, and it sounded absolutely superb. He could really make the mic work. Whereas I'm all in the throat and horrible and nasty. Don't like my voice at all. Anyway, Mike came next, didn't he? I'm fine on Windows 10 and such like. Yeah, there's updates non-stop, which is something you've got to put up with, particularly on Windows 11. And when things aren't working, as you find that if you do a reboot, they've sneakily installed things in the background, or things waiting, or they're doing a scan or whatever. So any time anything doesn't work, I always reboot the whole system. Anyway, it's round to Mike, if you're still there. I can find things. I think I'm still working. And good to see everybody, and Happy New Year. Right, let's put up a test card and disappear from G8KOE.
Oh yes, it's again is locked. Not responding to this program. Sometimes the programs are not as they should be. Okay. Back in business. Okay. Okay. The windmill was just crashed. Just after Martin stopped and I started, the windmill crashed. But just a restart and there was enough, and it's working again. Okay. Yeah. Thanks for the info about the water cooling, Gary. Yeah, I have to find out what's the best way for the flow. How many liters per hour or per minute? What's the best? I did it in somewhere in the 70s, 80s. I did also water cooling, but I can't remember how I did it in those days. And for the amplifier, the cooling will be indeed a shortwave amplifier. The first, that's because the fats on the amplifier are cheaper. If something goes wrong, it costs only a few pounds in the UK money, or in dollars or euros. But when I will do the same for UHF or VHF or higher, that's a couple of hundreds. So first try some experiments with the shortwave, and the power fats are a couple of MRF 300. That's the meaning of it. This one I wanted to show. Nick talked about the 2C39. I used this book to learn a lot of RF. Maybe someone knows this book. Maybe Frank, because he's originally from Germany. But there are a couple of books with a lot of things in it, and also these kinds of projects. I don't know if you can see it. It's not only theoretical, but also some practical info how to build something with the measurements, and there's complete bookwork. A couple of these books. Okay, we'll say everybody has a nice week. See you probably in 2 weeks' time. Next week I will not be in, and we'll see what happens then in the coming week. Was a question for FKK, Martin. What brand of type of the SDR do you have? It was a small PCB, but I could not see what brand or type or whatever it was, or it's AliExpress or something from in the UK only. Maybe you can get some info about it. Okay, thank you everybody, and see you next time. From Pop Alpha 3 Alpha Oscar Delta.
Okay, right. Bert, I think I found the problem with your microphone. that is a noise cancelling microphone you're using there, and noise cancelling microphones you have to address very closely. When you have it like there, it cancels out because it's got an aperture at the back and at the bottom, at the front. So that's why it sounds weird. The only thing that comes through loud is when you blow past it and you know, the air volume touches it. It's a noise cancelling microphone, so you either have to have the headsets up with the microphone properly positioned, or use a different microphone. That's why it sounds so thin and yeah. Anyway, okay, that's what the problem is. It's a noise cancelling microphone, and it's condenser. Okay, let's see. Gary wanted to see the projector, and FKK also wanted to see this animal. This is what it looks like. It's got a heck of a zoom lens on it, and the carousel at the top with one slide in it, and no earth, just a very heavy twin power cable to drive it. So yeah, it's heavy. Where's the name tag? Anyway, and it's got at the back the power switch. It's just off at the bottom, then fan, then low power, and then high power. But yeah, it's not mine. I just repaired it. I have more modern slide projectors for my own use when I still want to go to that analog. Okay, Martin, those meters, very nice. And I see they're nogal Ernest Turner meters. I've got real Ernest Turner VU meters, or actually mine are PPMs that come from the SABC, from our local broadcast company, like the BBC. We have SABC. I have a number of them. I had two of them. I mounted in a box with the electronics, of course, which I used at the radio station that I started in Bredasdorp, my other QTH. And then after 10 years, I said I've had enough. And but long before that, I took them out again, and I also just put the software ones on the PC screen for them, because the modern people, they just want to Google there on a PC screen, bugger the instruments and stuff around you. They didn't want the MP3 player. No, it's too complicated. It must be a click of a mouse on the PC, you know, and all sorts of things like that. So I said, okay, carry on. Anyway, so I've got my Ernest Turners back here at home. Okay, right. What did Bert say? MRF 300s. Don't know them, but it sounds big. Okay, G for FKK. GDR board. Now, what the heck did I mean there? Oh yeah, SDR board. Yeah. Why has that thing got so many little dip switches in it, Martin? That SDR receiver you've got there. I wonder what the thing can do with all those options. My ones have got nothing. You just plug it in and just go to the software. Ed, what did I write down here? Oh, you've got the OnVin and ICC stuff way above me. Anything that runs on networks with IP addresses and stuff, not for me, thank you. I'm purely analog. Frank, yes, you finally made it. I don't know what happened there, but yes, it was funny. Your carrier was high, but D0. So it looked like there was some noise in the system, some encoding modulation noise. But in any case, you found the problem, and it came up very nicely. And yeah, perfect picture, perfect sound, everything. Yeah, 7 years for flooded plate batteries. Yes, well, the big ones, those independent 2-volt cells, they reckon you can get 20 years lifetime out of those. I don't know whether yours are 4-volt stacks or 12-volt stacks, or how it is, but yes, if you can still top them up, that is still the best way. The lithiums, yeah, they've become cheaper, but they're still exactly twice the price of a lead acid. So, and I still don't trust them. They guarantee them for 15 years. They haven't been around for 15 years yet, so I don't know. I use a lot of small lithiums in my model aeroplanes and stuff. And yeah, there they last pretty well if you look after them properly. They're very finicky. Okay, so Frank and Nick, very interesting. 2C39. I've still got a couple here. But water cooling, I mean, that's the anode, which means how did you make the water non-conductive? Or did you have the whole lot floating at 1200 volts or something, you know? or you had some really, really pure water for water cooling at 2C39. That's very interesting. And Peter, yes, you've got some sort of a disease because you looked very stripy. All nice colors and beautiful audio, but yeah. Okay, that's it from me. I'll give it to G4FKK and I'll be listening, but I don't think I'll be coming back unless somebody asks something in particular. I still haven't found anybody who knows a KIP apparatus. So there we have it. G4FKK for the group from ZS. One Mike.
It's okay, Leon. ZS1 Mike, G4FKK and the group. And well, I know what a KIP apparatus is now, Leon, but only because I saw you demonstrating it last week. So I had a quick look on the internet. Very tempting. When you first showed it, I assumed it was some sort of bong you'd got on a visit from Amsterdam. So there you go. Anyway, it's much more scientific than that. Thank you, Gary, if you are watching, and also Ed for pointing out how to join the WhatsApp group. I was going to have a look, Ed, but Gary had already logged me onto it, so that was good. OnVIF looks good as well. I shall be trying that later. I have got an IP camera here, looking at the outside world, but I can't do anything with it from OBS other than show the picture, which is not very good, and also, as you see, rather unpleasant weather out there. But if I log onto it on the on a browser, I can then tweak the PTZ around. So I don't know why I'm doing that, because, as I say, it's not very nice out there at the moment. But I must do something better about that. Let's quickly run through these things. Yeah, the water-cooled 2C39A, Nick, that's good. And I can't read the note. Oh, 3mm brass on your patch feed. Yeah, I should have done that. I think mine's 1mm copper, the reflector. The actual patch itself is 2.5mm copper. Excuse my voice as well. Frank, great to see you. Long time no see. I'm sure you've been on the net a lot, but I've been missing it every now and again. And sorry, all your systems conked out there. Most poor. Peter, yeah, we had a lovely shot of your test card. So the audio was very good there. You should log on to the chat, because everyone was piping up saying, switch your camera on. So you might have noticed that. Talking of the chat, the SDR, Adam and Bert was interested too. What I'll do, it's got nothing on it. All it says is SDR version 0.1.4. I'll show it to you again. And what I'll do in the chat, I'll put a link up. Let's see if it focuses. There you go. So that's all it's got on it in terms of identification. But I believe it goes up to 6 gigahertz, and all those switches, Leon, you can switch in different bandpass filters. It goes right down to HF, and I think up to 6 gigs, and it's got some built-in filters. You can see those bank of coils and capacitors and things. The other one, I'm not sure what it does. It says it's labeled AM. So whether it sets the bandwidth of something, I don't know. Different bandpass filters, yeah. But what I'll do while I'm speaking, Bert and Adam there, is paste. This looks like advertising, but it's not really. That's what it's described as in on Amazon, if that's any use to you. Right, what other notes have I got here? Well, Gary has probably sensibly disappeared if he's got a thunderstorm coming. And okay about I think I'd probably rather have the cat than the monkeys, Gary. Thanks for the link to the VU player, Martin. And I thought your old camera was better, actually. When you fired that up, I thought that looked rather better than the new one. But and I'm not just saying that because you always say that about my cameras, Martin. And Bert, I think I've answered your question there, and yours as well, Leon. So I'll call that quits. Thank you all very much for coming out. Lovely to see everyone. Say good to see you after a long time, Frank, as well. So I'll try and find a test card and put that up, and then clear off. Pass it back round to you, Ed. Papa Yankee 2 Radio November, and I'll call you on 2 meters after this, Gareth G4XAT, PY2RN G4FKK. Cheerio.
Okay, very well. Yeah, thanks, Marty. About the IP cameras, Leon, I mean, I understand that you're not good on the network and the IP stuff, but you know, those are cheap cameras, and I think it's a good idea to use them and you know, present some variations here, not talking about this DATV Net, but in general people used to just reproduce YouTube videos. And as well, you know, Peter from MSADL mentioned that's not a YouTube facility, so it's an option to people show, you know, external views and stuff like that, so maybe that's a good idea. Regarding the 2C39 that Nick has mentioned, interesting thing, I just remember I have a box full of them. I have a box full of 2C39As. Some are used, but I think I have 4 brand new, never used. I just took one out of the envelope. But if you see the date, it's 1953. They are still sealed inside an aluminum envelope. Yeah, it's still sealed. And the envelope says something. Yeah, the same, you know, 2C39 and blah blah blah, Maclet, and the date 1953. Yeah, I really don't remember when I got those. I think that was a time I lived abroad, and I got from someone, and I got the. They don't call decks for solid state PAs. They call cavity. I got a cavity as well. At the time was with a project for 1.2 gigahertz, but never happened. I got a cavity. I would start building the power supply, but it never happened. I got rid of the cavity, but I kept the 2C39. So if someone needs, give me a shout. All right, guys. Hello to Frank. Happy New Year to you, and well, as well, Happy New Year to everybody that we didn't talk yet. Peter, Golf Whisk 7BZ. Yeah, nice color bars. That's all we saw, the color bars, and but the audio was great. All right, guys, thank you very much. Have a nice upcoming week, and hope to see you all next weekend. Nick, goes to you. No, sorry. No. Yeah, the last, I don't know why Gary mentioned that I made some problem the last over, but I remember I passed it to Frank. But anyways, I'm sorry if I didn't. So Frank, goes to you. Zulu Sierra 6 Golf Echo, Papa Yankee 2 Radio November, and the World Wide Net DATV.
Yeah, I don't know whether you're still there, Martin. Yeah, I don't know whether you're still there, Martin. There's my old camera. Now switch the light off. That's the new camera. Now switch the light off. That's the new camera. Let's stop the feedback if I can find the things. So the new one. That was the old one. Under the poor lighting conditions. That's when it really does score. Plus you get the manager for the camera. And you can zoom it up quite well. Zoom it back to 90 degrees, 78 degrees, 65 degrees, and auto framing. Come on. Other things and face recognition, but yeah, I was using NEF lighting really, but it works well. Absolutely poor the lighting now. Right, I'm probably talking to myself, but let's go back to the old camera and go back to the new camera. Put up a test card and disappear. Good to see everybody, and yeah, sorry I was holding it, handing it back to the wrong person. I was reading the wrong part of the list. Oh, I did it twice, I think. I must get the link that just shows the very latest, not last net as well. Whatever doing thing, I can't do two things at once. That's the trouble. And yeah, so I'll reduce the audio by 3 dBs on the bottom end. But those meters, the program is exceedingly easy to use and just an exe to run. So nothing really to install. Right, 7th Weasel, G8K.
Yeah, okay, Martin. Yeah, okay. Turn that down there. Yeah, okay. I think we transmitted at the same time there, Martin. I think you came up a little bit too quick for me, but anyway, I'll make this one my final anyway. There's not much light coming through my window, I'm afraid, so apologies for the poor lighting. Right, I did make some quick notes. Yeah, Leon, yeah. On the slide projector there, the Kodak slide projector. I remember when my mum was alive, we used to do slides. Every time we went away on holiday, we used to go to I don't know, Austria and Spain and that sort of thing. We always used to do slides. We never did photographs. And we used to try different film. The trouble with Kodak slides, they used to come in these horrible little cardboard mounts. And then when you put them in the slide projector, they used to get all chewy. The corners used to get chewed up. But we tried Kodak slides. We tried Agfa slides, but the ones that we prefer for the colour was made by Fuji. That used to be. They used to work very well, very nice. They were. Our slides used to use the Fuji film. That was very good. And yes, the water calling. Yes, it was all floating. Yes, I just used ordinary water, which is of course conductive. So the whole thing was floating, yeah, it worked all right. But of course, in those days, it's not easy to generate high power at those sort of frequencies. So it was all valves, you know. Whereas now it's all, you know, solid state stuff. But I still got the original valve and its little water jacket out in the workshop. If next week I'll see if I can find it, and I'll come up next week on the net, and I'll show you what it looks like. But yeah, those 2C39As, the ceramic ones, used to work much more efficiently. I've got some other ones that you couldn't actually remove the heatsink off them. They don't come off. But the ceramic ones, either unscrewed or that they were held on by a couple of Allen keys, so you could remove them. Ed, I forgot to comment, Ed. Thanks very much for the information about using the IP cameras. I've often wondered, I see people on here say, oh, I'm just going to switch to the outside camera, and I often wondered how they manage to do that. So that's something I need to investigate, get myself an outside camera, an IP camera, and see if I can get it to talk to OBS. So, yeah, thanks for very, very much for that, Ed. That's very good. Yeah, Peter, when you came on, we only got the test card. I did put a comment on the chat, but you're not logged in. So, and I noticed, although you're only sending a test card, your stream, you've only got 20% video. Your audio was 14%, but you had over 60% of null packets, so you didn't have much video. But whether or not that was, of course, you weren't on the camera, I don't know. But anyway, been nice to actually see you next time, Peter. I see Nigel's on the chat, but he's not in a position to transmit. And I think Mike was there as well, G0MJW, but I don't think he's coming up either. And Rob's there as well. Afternoon, Rob. Martin. KOE, the old camera is far better. I'm sorry to say, much better, the old camera. So I much preferred that. Right, I think that's it. I'm going to disappear now. Apologies for the poor picture quality. I say there's not much light here now coming through the window. Temperature is dropping rapidly. We're now down to 45 degrees Fahrenheit outside. So we might have a bit of snow coming, I think, by the end of the week. So we'll see. Anyway, I'll say cheerio to everybody. I've no idea who to pass it to, so I will just switch off and just leave it open to whoever wants to take it from G4IMO. Cheerio. See you all next week. Bye-bye. I will just switch off and just leave it open to whoever wants to take it on G4IMO. Cheerio, see you all next week. Bye-bye.
Okay, it might be me. It might be. It might not be. Yeah, we're just waiting for the thing to catch up with me. Yeah, GW7BZY. There we go. Ah, has he switched me off? That'd be just brilliant. Oh no. Okay, thank you. How's the picture looking? Maybe a little bit dark. I see we'll have a little play with the exposure. Okay. I was going to say, somebody was talking about PTZ cameras, IP cameras. As it happens, vMix has already got an integrated PTZ slot for said cameras. So if you've got an IP camera and it's PTZ, it's got a bit of software so you can control it directly through vMix. Of course. Ah, that looks a bit better. It looks a bit brighter. I've seen I'm watching, as I said, I'm watching through YouTube, so it's quite a bit of a delay from when I'm, from what I'm seeing to what's going on. And I'm using the quick view to just to see when the signal goes off, so I can come on the project if I'm standing on somebody. I thought I'd show myself on my picture. I still think I think Gary's pretty much caught me up on the image quality front, possibly. But I'm not ready to concede defeat just yet. I don't know. I think natural skin tones and color is much more achievable with 3 chips than 1. And 3 chips are always better, I'd say. Others may not agree. Depth of field, of course, used to be a thing, and still is. But with the latest technology, you can artificially add a bit of blur, bokeh. Although I've never quite understood the excitement of it myself. I'm sure, what am I to know? Fashions change, so I'm not saying that they're wrong and I'm right. But in Welsh we say "pawb ei peth," each to his own. And apologies for just having the test card. I enlarged the way because I'm watching on YouTube. I haven't got the WhatsApp. I can't download the WhatsApp onto my PC. I don't like signing into things, so it might take me a while to get around to actually signing into things. So I don't like being signed in. I did have WhatsApp on my phone, but I deleted it because I didn't find any. I didn't remember why I downloaded it, and the reason I downloaded it was to do the Worldwide Net, obviously. So I might download it again. I have some other software for app, Facebook, and some other app type program. Not WhatsApp, the other one. Which name I can't remember. But yes, vMix does some PTZ natively. So if you wanted to, and it's fairly cheap for a copy of, although you only get 3 inputs. But meters and the what have you, who needs it? It's just robbing data rate from your videos. If you've got all this faff on the screen, it's just robbing data from you, like running text and other things. And we don't have a lot of data, and encoding unnecessary movement just reduces the overall quality of your image, and usually the bit you want people to see properly is your face. So that should really be the only moving part of the screen, I'd say. Although I see some content, Oh, hello, good evening from Milmet, Mahomet. I can't pronounce. Apologies for terrible pronunciation to your name. Good evening to you, or good afternoon, good evening. So, good evening. Yeah. So I'm watching on YouTube, and watching the messaging on YouTube. So any of the messages on any of the systems is hopeless. And the way I had the screen set up, it was below the video picture, so I couldn't. While I was, and of course, I'm trying to have it of looking at the viewfinder on my camera, so that I look like vaguely like I'm looking at the people I'm addressing, rather than vaguely staring off into the distance on monitor. So I didn't notice that the fact that I heard the sound, I thought, yes, there's video. So I turned the sound off and rambled on, and obviously no video. And vMix has a button that you have to push to external to allow video out. Obviously it doesn't stop the sound, but it just why it doesn't stop the sound, I don't know, but it should do. But obviously it did stop the video, so no video. Apologies for that as well. Somebody saying something about wanting some more color in the background. Well, yeah. I don't know whether I can work any more color in my background. I have got some color lights facing my old amplifier there, and I've got some color lights up in the ceiling that sort of shine down on me various colors to add a little bit of color and differentiate me from the background a little bit. Not that it really needs to. And of course, the old Sony PMW 350 is doing its good job. And of course, the microphone's plugged into the 350 and then into the Magewell USB to HDMI to USB. And the camera, luckily, has a HDMI output. And I'm running NTC video standard for 30 frames, because I used to run 15 frames, but at the moment I'm running 30 frames. And the NVIDIA video broadcast, NVIDIA broadcast likes NTC, and it seems default will set to NTC. And if I was like Gary there and could use my Decklink capture card, I could. It would be forced to work at 25 frames a second or 50 frames a second, but because I'm using the Magewell, and that works. Allows the software to vary the frames, so things like Sky and things which used to reduce frame rates, and as the data rates improved or degraded, it always chooses the US standards. So the camera can do US standards, and that's all right. But I do get a little bit of flickering if I turn my lights down. I can see some banding, and it doesn't really like the difference in data, frame rate. And the flicker from the lighting system. What else? Yeah, I didn't worry about my HF rig, didn't I? Thank you, Martin G8. Yeah, I can't remember the call sign completely, but thank you for the Easy, DATV Easy. I shall unpack that momentarily. I'm dropping in and out according to this. I don't know what's going on. Okay. Anyway, there's GW7B's.